Who are you? I'm the man who can give you the one thing you want. What's that? Time.
Hello and welcome back to A Stark Contrast, where we discuss the differences and similarities from Marvel Comics to their MCU counterparts. And we're your hosts, Geoffrey
and Dai.
Hello, and welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back, y'all.
Yes.
Yes. Woo. So,
what do we got on the docket today?
well, it is a mini Marvel, number 8 to be precise.
Yeah.
Where we talk about the broader Marvel universe and the MCU's hot topics. And we're coming off of a traditional character study. Our last episode, Gwen Stacy, more importantly, Spider-Gwen.
Yeah.
Just released a couple weeks ago. So if you haven't listened to it yet, please go back, listen to that. And if you want to go even further, go back a year and listen to our Earth 616 Gwen Stacy episode. Certainly some of my favorites.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, for this episode, we're taking it down a different route, and we're talking about some topics in the MCU. Presently, in the actual recording of this episode, Jeff and I are here. It is still January.
Yeah.
He is about to go on vacation.
We are breaking the fourth wall right now.
We are super duper. So like future us, it's February. Happy February.
Yes.
It's almost Valentine's Day. It's almost Ant-Man time.
It is.
Live your best life.
Super excited for that one.
Super excited. But yeah, so before we get into that, just wanted to cover some podcast stuff. As you may have heard in our last episode, the Natural History Museum of Los Angeles is starting their First Fridays season, and this one is pretty cool if you're a geek or a nerd or a dork. They just finished their First Fridays February. In March, they will be having the theme Witches, Wizards, and Magic Powers. So if any of those subgenres excite you, please go check out the event happening on March 3rd. Visit nhm.org/First Fridays for more details. And so with that, I guess we can just spiral into some notable news.
Yes.
In the Marvel universe. I was going to say the MCU, but actually it's really the broader Marvel universe. So while Sony's Spider-Man 2 is one of the most anticipated games, recently Marvel's Avengers is officially announced as dead. So, I mean, they didn't use those words so precisely.
They won't stop.
Yeah.
They will stop developing stories.
Yes. And there's what is it? There no more updates, no more.
Yes,
they're not
there'll be
supporting
no more
updates.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you haven't yet, or you haven't checked the game in a long time, their latest Winter Soldier DLC, as well as the Corrupt Vibranium gameplay, I guess that's the last of it, and that's it. That's it.
That's crazy. Seeing a cycle for a game kind of just end.
Dude, they've been beating that horse dead for at least 2 years.
I didn't buy the game, but when it first came out, I did definitely watch some playthroughs. That's what I did before. Not even before I would buy a game.
Yeah.
Or I like to watch it. Just be okay. Like, what am I going to get myself into?
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, like that first initial story was there. They're in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then people play the game and you learn the mechanics of the game, and people start complaining. They're like, what are you doing? Like, what are they doing here?
Yeah.
And I think it all came crashing down. We talked about this too. Was when they decided to implement Spidey into the game. And it's very Lord. And this is I'm trying to say this as unbiased as possible, but when you have Insomniac on the other side of the gaming sphere, and they created the Spider-Man PlayStation 4, which had amazing mechanics.
Yep.
Which I love, is one of my favorite games that I've played in the last couple of years. And so when you have like a studio like Insomniac creating like that and that type of mechanic in a game and those engines, it's like it's kind of hard to, live up to that. And then when you have Square Enix, they have this Avengers game, but they don't have, I'm assuming they don't have the engine to kind of
compensate for that. Yeah.
And so you're left with a very
generic,
and especially in today's gaming world, everything needs to feel at least a little bit more realistic, like tactile, you know? Like you can't,
tactile is a great word.
Cause one of my favorite Spider-Man games was the movie ones.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But if you think about it, when you're swinging around the city and you're swinging from the webs are attaching to essentially nothing. but you don't really care because I've never seen anything like this. Right. So it's fine. But then, things get smarter, technology becomes more advanced. Mm-hmm. So it's like, and what Insomniac did with that new version of Spidey for the PS4 was amazing. Yeah. And it carried into the Miles Morales game. Yeah. And then now we're going to get the new Spider-Man 2 game.
With both.
Yeah, with
Spider-Man
both and with Venom. Yeah. And on top of that, you have a great story, which is a very engaging story.
Exactly.
So I can't blame them for developing.
I mean, I gotta say,
I also heard before you continue, I heard the packs are stupid expensive.
They are. Oh my Lord. I know. And I hate going down this because I don't like to be a negative Nancy about it. Yes. But sad, but true, it is very much everything you've heard about this game. It's not baseless at all. It's 100% accurate. And I gotta say, like, as a Spider-Man fan, as big of a Spider-Man fan I am, the fact that I didn't sit through more than 5 minutes of the Spider-Man gameplay in Marvel's Avengers versus playing hours and hours and hours and completing various levels of difficulty with the Sony Spider-Man says so much. And yes, to your point, the DLCs are absurd. Yeah. Like absurd. Like
insane.
Which, by the way, okay, so I copped out, like, again, let me just tell you, after I beat the game, I was like, great, cool. All right, well, that was that. And then they released like the Red Room like sessions. And I was like, okay, Nat's my favorite in that game. Her fighting style is incredible. I find her to be like, I'm more of that kind of fighter, if you will. Some people like the roughness of Hulk, or like you get to fly as Iron Man and Thor. I'm not really like that. I'm more of like, let's go toe to toe on the offense. And so with really good defense. And so I totally did all of that stuff. But when it came to collecting and getting the skins and the titles and the avatars, and I was just like, you're telling me I got to pay $25 for a skin of like Hawkeye?
And just a skin too, right?
And it's just the skin. It's not the pack. Yes. The pack is like $34.99. And if you want if you want these three with those two, and then you get X amount of XP points, which they got roasted for because people were just buying leveling up. They weren't actually playing. Yeah. So they'd go into the game at like level 125 Thor. They just got it last week. And it's kind of like, dude, come on.
That's impossible.
You can't.
If you just play.
Yeah. And especially if you're just taking the game as it is, as a grind game. That's super duper unfair advantage. It's just basically like, if you got the Skrilla.
Basically, pay to win.
You pay to win. Yeah, you pay to win. You pay to play. And so I got tired of that, as many people did, on top of the fact that there are glitches. They were, or at least were, glitches up the wazoo. Like I have a couple of videos, like when I had unlocked Cap, for instance. There was something wrong with his face modeling. When I switched Cap into his, like, I don't know his World War II gear, his face mapping was all jacked up. Yeah. And so his face started to literally melt off.
Oh my God.
Whenever I put that skin on. And it was so distracting. I was like, I can't do this. Yeah. So I just didn't play as Captain America for the longest time. And so stuff like that really kind of ruined the game for me. And then like, I remember one time while playing the Black Widow arc, my gameplay got stuck. And I thought it was just the music. I thought the music was just repeating in a very like...
Sure.
Right? Like it felt like techno club.
Yes.
And I was like, oh no, it's actually stuck. And so Natasha was stuck in this infinite loop of 3 seconds over and over again. I was like, I just lost all my progress.
There's a lot of glitches.
A lot of things like that. And so there was quite literally a period of time where I didn't touch it for at least 8 months, maybe more.
Yeah.
I jumped in because they offered like a free DLC of, shirtless Steve Rogers, and I was like, all right, well. So I went in, and you have no idea. I asked like 2 friends. I was like, hey, so I'm not at home. Can you log in and get me the Steve Rogers skin? Because it was free.
Yes.
Because it was free.
Yes.
I mean, and Steve Rogers
I agree.
shirtless.
No, yeah.
But like
Totally
I didn't
valid.
have to pay for it. So I was like, cool, I want it for free. And then I didn't touch it again until they released the Winter Soldier release.
Yeah.
And I was like, cool. Logged back in and I was like, because once again, you're like, 1,700 credits. Cool. I mean, I have 200. And then I looked at the prices and I was like, I'm about to drop $25 for a Winter Soldier pack.
It'd be so expensive.
And I
man.
did it. So imagine people who have been playing that game since the get-go, or at least trying to maintain their team.
Yeah.
And they're unlocking all these skins and unlocking character versions. And that doesn't include taunts. That doesn't include finishers. It doesn't include any of that stuff.
Insane. I mean,
So the fact that they're now officially also shutting down is like, woof, how much of their debt did they actually end up accounting for, you know? And how much debt do they still have left? Because it didn't work. Clearly it didn't work. And so they're finally throwing in the towel. And yeah, I mean, what more can be said? Sony Spider-Man 2 comes out. Is it this winter? I don't remember.
So.
Yeah, it's coming up
year,
though. Yeah, it's coming up. And so super, all the excitement for that for sure. And speaking of games, we did get a question from Instagram, Andrew Frank 17. What is the next superhero / team that you want to see get a video game? Because Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, that is interesting.
Incredible.
Yeah, that is a great game.
Flawless.
I think it just depends like how you do it, I guess.
Yeah.
Like
I would agree.
Because like all I know was, especially when I was like getting back into games like pretty heavily when I got like my PS4 and whatever, and playing like console or specific first party games. Mm-hmm. So it was like the Spider-Man PS4. I was like, okay, this is great because 1, it's fun to play. The story's amazing.
Yeah.
Insomniac Studios is always good. Same thing when I was playing the first God of War, the new rebooted God of War.
You mean the
PS4.
reason why you're up at 4 a.m.?
Yes. Well, the 2018 God of War, and then obviously with Ragnarok, and it's just like the way the game. I think it's also just like the story and like the character you love it.
Yeah.
And but obviously it's story and mechanics.
Yeah.
I think.
So let's say, for instance, the studio that did God of War, or the
Santa Monica Studios. Oh my god.
Yeah, let's say they, or even the studio that did Guardians of the Galaxy.
Who did Guardians of the Galaxy again?
I don't know. It's right there. It's staring at me. So it is. Oh, it is. It's Eidos, Montreal. So
Eidos.
So the studio that did the Tomb Raider series, actually.
So they make great open world games, basically. Like these are a lot of studios that make amazing open world games. Yeah. But it's also become a trend now, open world gaming.
Sure.
Like if Insomniac, Santa Monica, or I mean, it just. I also think it works out too because in media, in like modern media, today's media, those characters are established. So I'm not saying that the Guardians movies like influenced the people to go and buy the game. Yeah. Maybe half the people. That was definitely me. Yeah. For sure. Especially when you told me you got it, I was just like, oh, let me play it, see how it is. Yeah. And I fell in love with the story and how the mechanics worked. Yeah. Once you got to know it. Yeah. So it really does depend on like, like how they approach that game and for what characters. So I guess obviously like Peter Parker has a great story. Mm-hmm. The Guardians have a great story but they mostly focused on Quill. Yeah. Quill. Yeah. So that is a great
I know that's tough,
right?
Question
to be like who's, especially like when you think game wise, like what if you did an Incredible Hulk game, but it's like well, all he does is just just like boom, smash, bop, 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 and obviously you can give him different powers and power ups and stuff, but at the end of the day,
and different Hulks,
you're just smashing things,
right? It's a grind. It would be a grind game, which is essentially what Marvel's Avengers was. Oh gosh, who?
That is tough.
That's a tough one.
Maybe. I mean, shoot, maybe a Cap.
You know what? Yeah.
Maybe a Cap.
That would be pretty cool. And I also like the concept or the idea that you could do World War II Cap stuff.
Yeah, you can do like Call of Duty stuff.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
But then it's like, or you choose your own
or
path.
even Red Dead Redemption type. You know what I mean? And kind of do that, and then you can also be present Cap and be fighting against Hydra and such.
Yes.
And a whole proper arc of Winter Soldier and Civil War and all that good stuff.
Yes.
That would be cool.
It would be.
I'd be down
just
for
because
that.
you have because I like hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah,
and because it's easier to be engaged with like hand-to-hand combat, and then you add like weapons. So at the end of the day, like Cap is gonna have his hand-to-hand combat, but you can add the shield, or you can maybe add a baton, like not like a Mjolnir, but like just like in that realm, because to compare it to like God of War, like Kratos, like at the end of the day he has his hands, but gameplay gets much more interesting because he has his Leviathan axe, which is a frozen axe, and then he has the Blades of Chaos, the fire, and then in the new game he has a spear, so he has 3 weapons.
Damn.
So the gameplay is different for every, and like, so if you just add on to like what's true to the core, like the game will be fun no matter what. So I think Cap could be solid.
That's a good one. Yeah, I like that answer. And so speaking of Spider-Man, rumor has it. Okay, let me just say, thanks to Muskie's whack pinning, that makes you see the For You. I am seeing everything I don't want to see.
I know, it's like Dai's worst nightmare.
Oh my gosh! Every time I'm on it, it's just there's something in Marvel, and I'm like, no.
This person has been cast in the new.
I know, like, and then the source is like Hot Tacos 24.
There is one leak.
Like,
there is one scoops, like a couple like that. I don't follow them, but they always get recommended to me, and I always go, huh?
The Reddit guys, the guys that are on Reddit.
There's one guy that's called My Time to Shine. Oh, Reddit, and his profile pic is like the Reddit avatar.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And I'm like, that guy is almost never wrong.
God.
So I've definitely seen some stuff, and like I brought it up to you last time we recorded, where I was like, I saw something that you would definitely like, but I'm not gonna say it out loud.
That's the problem. And so like when the actual factual stuff starts to come up to the surface, I'm like, no.
Yeah.
And so anyway, a lot of that is coming up. But so because of this, I did stumble upon rumor that the 4th installment of Tom Holland's franchise is supposedly set to begin filming in 2024, which is that's a lot sooner than anticipated. At least I thought. But
it's kind of insane.
Yeah, but I guess Spider-Man No Way Home came in.
I'm gonna eat my words probably, because I forgot which episode I said. Maybe it was another mini Marvel or the Spidey one, but I was just like, we're not gonna see him.
But if you do the math, right? No Way Home is 2021. Holy smokes. So if they are in fact releasing a 2025 movie, that'll be 4 years
removed. Yeah.
Wow. That's all I can say is wow.
Adult Spider-Man, huh? Adult Peter Parker is what you want.
College Peter Parker. Finally. But yeah, so while that's kind of in the rumor mill, there is the factual drop of data that it looks like Thunderbolts is set to begin filming this summer, June to be exact. And I'm ready because I can see. I don't know if Sebastian Stan has anything in the pipeline before then. But he's cultivating some Bucky Barnes sort of long hair look. So I'm like,
flashbacks?
I don't know, but he has long hair in the comics. So maybe they're going back.
Maybe they're growing it back.
He's growing it back.
Post Falcon Winter Soldier.
Yes. So I don't know.
Captain America New World Order too.
Yes, they're about to start filming in March.
I've seen some rumors of who got cast in there too, and I'm like,
whoa.
who played the villain? Who plays the villain?
Oh, interesting.
And I forget the villain, but I was just like, why am I seeing this?
Yes.
Why can't we just be surprised,
I
bro?
know. I just want to be surprised. But that's exciting stuff.
Yeah.
And then of course, there's also some official stuff like the first look at Loki.
Yes.
Which is coming up real fast. Yeah, so the gang's all back. When do you think that's dropping? Do we know when it's dropping? Is it this year?
It's this year, I think.
So I have heard that they moved What If season 2.
They moved that to next year.
So they moved it to next year, which is kind of unfortunate.
Yeah.
I imagine
that's why you never get attached to dates,
I know,
especially like when Feige like announces them at cons and stuff.
Yeah,
like it's cool, like like they have a plan, but look, agendas change, things change, schedules change.
Yeah,
it's like look at the whole Blade stuff that's going on.
I know,
super unfortunate.
Yeah,
but you want to do it right, especially if it's his first appearance in MCU, and I'm sure Mahershala Ali has a lot to say.
Yeah.
I think you can, and it's like you can tell that these actors care about these characters and they want to make sure they get the story right. So super unfortunate, but I mean, it happens.
100%.
Let things just take time, man. That's just what it is.
Exactly.
Even with the whole like Armor Wars, now it's a movie.
That's true.
Instead of being a show.
Yeah.
It's like just
because the format.
Just don't get attached to dates, but be excited that they're even talking about it, Yeah,
exactly.
So
it looks like they just updated the window of the show release, but we'll see, I guess.
Yeah,
because it's a moving target. The MCU in general is very much a moving target. But yeah, the first look pictures look pretty great. I mean, nothing too revealing. I know that there was a lot of leakage from like, I was gonna say Tom Hiddleston in a tuxedo of sorts.
Ke Huy Quan isn't. I totally forgot Ke Huy Quan.
Yes, that's so true. Yes. Of course, you may know him from Indiana Jones or Everything Everywhere All at Once. Everywhere, Anywhere.
Everything Everywhere All at
Once. Yeah. Which is also, he was my favorite part of that movie, easily.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see or know more about the role that he plays in that. I hope he has a pretty considerable role. Like, I hope he's not in just an episode and then he's gone.
Yeah. Like he's a reoccurring character, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. But yeah, aside that, Agatha, Coven of Chaos.
They're filming right now.
Seen
some set pics of that.
Yeah, I'm trying to stay away from it.
It's just so unavoidable. I hate it. They're like, oh, well, you can just swipe. Well, it's my feed.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't choose a For You page.
Exactly. Can I not have it
I
default?
started a Twitter and Instagram to see things my friends follow.
Exactly.
Not what other people follow.
Right. But they think you want to see it, Jeff.
Well, I think they want to catch these hands and I'll punch them in the throat.
Right. We punch them in the throat. Oh, book. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't mind set photos, but I hate, I don't mind seeing like leaks like that.
Sure.
I hate when people try to spin things. People are like, ooh, like, so here's a picture of Agatha in these types of clothes in front of on a sidewalk in a window. Like, oh, is she in Westview or is she here are 10 reasons why we think, and it's like, shut up. Shut up.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
I don't care. Wait.
Yeah, that's exactly what bothers me. Yeah. And that's the thing that I feel like this is like apparently our rant, Mini Marvel. That's what really sets course for me, where I'm just like infuriated by it. Yeah. Because that's what everybody ends up doing.
Yeah.
And then it's just, did you see those pictures of Agatha in Westview? And it's like, that's not factual. How do you know that? Were you on set? No.
There's literally like a leak the other day. Like it was literally trending, at least for me. Like I just told Dai this also. The Ant-Man 3 script, apparently the whole script leaked.
Yikes.
And I was like, well, I'm not going to go out of my way to freaking read that.
I know.
No.
Well, see, and then of course the problem is now you'll start to see outlets where it's like quoting it directly and you're like, what is this coming from? And it's like, Ant-Man, this is the end. Like, remember me when I'm gone.
It's
and you're just like, wait.
This just sucks. I hate like what social media culture has done to at least that.
Yeah, it sucks.
I'm like what was it? Let's say Infinity War. Like the first time I ever saw something for Infinity War was the trailer.
Right.
Well, okay, that's a lie because it was like the first. It was like a horrible phone footage from Comic-Con, I think.
Oh, right.
When they first released footage of it.
Yeah,
and I was like,
right.
ooh. So I guess that was like the start of it for me.
I bet it was the same guy that leaked the Guardians 3 trailer.
Probably. But it was just like, but before that, it was just like, whatever you saw was when the studio released the actual trailer and like on the Instagram or on YouTube.
Yeah.
So it's like
it's all spoiled now.
Yeah.
It's
everyone
sad.
wants to know.
I know.
And all the comic like gatekeepers are just like, well, that's not what they would have done in the like. Why is da. Like, they nerfed Hulk after Infinity War. Like, what? Shut up! Yeah. Shut up! Cry about it!
I miss when Hulk actually used to be Hulk.
Like, he's the Hulk. Why isn't he smashing? Cry about it!
Yeah, 100%. Sad but true. So all that stuff is leaking.
Yeah.
But you know what's coming up real fast? Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania.
I think that one's really gonna.
We're just days away, man.
I think this movie's really gonna set like really. It's gonna encompass the phase 4.
Yeah.
But then it's gonna just kick off like phase 5 of like, okay, this is what we're gonna do.
So how many stingers do you think they're gonna put in that movie?
2.
Mid credits and end.
Yeah. Keep it
easy.
Just keep it.
Yeah.
You know, traditional.
So you think they're gonna give us insane climax, or do you think it's gonna be a subtle one?
They're gonna give us a post-credit scene where it's like Doctor Strange, I don't know, with the whole eye thing, but like not in that realm of like, you know, like maybe it sets it up, or it just leaves something that open for the future.
Yeah.
And then the last scene will just be like a funny, hopefully a throwaway. I don't know, like with the pizza ball, like with
You know, I gotta say, people were really disappointed with that one.
Who cares? It's supposed to be funny.
Yeah, that's true. I agree.
Avengers did the shawarma thing.
I know.
Who cares?
That's very true. But you know what I think it is that it almost felt insider baseball for Raimi fans.
Yeah.
But that was supposed to be. Yeah.
Who cares?
Exactly. And I think that's the thing, right? The expectation is too grand with these
like
things.
Not everything has to set up the next thing.
Exactly.
Like
yeah.
Like with the whole, I'll go back to the Eternals team where they're like, oh well, a whole friggin' Celestial is just poking out the ocean and we haven't heard anything about it. And then like, well, yeah, bro, because that movie was written 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Yeah.
The movies coming after Eternals didn't know that it was even going to be a thing.
Yeah.
Like each movie is supposed to be its own thing.
Its own entity.
It just happens to, interweave when it can.
Exactly.
So
I think people forget.
Like, who cares?
People forget.
Like,
but
this movie's going to be insane. Jonathan Majors. I think everybody's excited for Jonathan Majors, man.
I'm so scared, man. I'm so scared.
Yeah. I think
just like
what Jonathan Majors bringing to Kang is what Josh Brolin brought to Thanos, but in my opinion, 10 times more. Yeah,
I saw a quote today. He mentioned, he was like, like Tony Stark. I want to be the Tony Stark of supervillains.
Yes. That's what I do remember. Yeah, he did say that.
He said something like Tony Stark was like the superhero of superheroes, and he wants Kang to be the supervillain of supervillains. Yeah. Which is like,
which is tough because everybody. I remember when we first saw Thanos, and we saw how Josh Brolin like portrayed him with his voice and the stature. You're kind of like, ooh, I don't know if anyone can really beat Josh Brolin as Thanos, because you feel it, like you feel it, and it's like, oh, maybe he was right. Mm-hmm. And then you see that first trailer the second trailer with Jonathan Majors as Kang, and you're kind of like,
I'm so scared.
You're like, oh well, dang, he's kind of buff, and he's also like, this is a villain where he kind of knows everything because he's a controller of universes. Yeah. Like Thanos can control the universe, but he needs something.
Right. He needs a vehicle.
Well, okay. I'm sorry. I retract because Kang needs his chair.
Okay.
But
with his cup holder.
But
did you see that?
Yeah, I did see that.
He's got a cup holder.
So the chair allows him to be even more great universally. Right. But in that specific universe, I think where he's in the quantum realm, he's still pretty powerful. I mean, you saw that face shield. Oh, it's so. I was always wondering how they make him blue, and it's like boom, it's a face shield. It's great because it's very much like the Talocan, right? Yes. Like we mentioned there too, where it's like, oh yeah, so the underwater they're natural toned, like people are. Makes sense. Well, backwards, because people are blue underwater, but they come up and they're blue, and then down there they're flesh colored, if you will, and also they're mouthpieces. And so the way that they've treated with Kang. And yes, that face shield that is very iconic to not iconic, but it's similar to the comic book version in that
the comic book version of Kang, that's his skin tone. Like,
yes.
And so how do you normalize or make it realistic?
Yeah, and not make it look like
and not be cheesy. Yeah, and like not
because like who has blue skin?
Right.
Because obviously Gamora's green skin is
yeah
what it is.
And also, why not have him be a black man?
Yeah.
Like, why not?
Dude,
and so
he's so powerful.
I'm so scared of him. I feel like he's really gonna mess people up. He's not gonna hold back. Like that scene, that little scene of him in the teaser trailer of him like coming for Scott.
Oh, just like stomping on him?
Yeah,
or even that last shot where,
like, oh
where
my goodness.
His suit like adjusts to his arms so he can lift his arms up and he just shoots beams out his hand.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, we're in for a trilogy right here. I hope people remember like this is the end of the Ant-Man trilogy.
Yes, that's true.
Like,
yes.
So it's like whether Scott Lang dies
so
or
weird.
whatever, like this is and we don't get much trilogies.
Yeah.
We have out of the MCU, and a lot of the last trilogy, like the last movie of the trilogy has been pretty good. We have Spider-Man, No Way Home.
Yeah, see, home. Yeah.
I mean, the Avengers. There's 4 movies, but I mean the Cap movies, the Iron Man movies.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just so this one is like we haven't had a third trilogy in a while, so. This one's gonna be massive. I think in terms of scope and scale, this is gonna be the biggest.
Yeah.
Like, you know, because now we're actually dealing with the quantum realm, which we touched on, like traveled through it, but never really explored. And there's only been one person that's explored it in the MCU, and that's Janet.
Yeah, Janet of all. And there's gonna be some reveals with that too, because
she knows who Kang is.
She knows him. How she knows him, in what capacity she knows him, is also.
I've read.
Oh yeah,
I've read stuff.
Oh,
yeah, I've read stuff.
Boy,
just like Jen, not the whole plot.
Sure.
But just like
you have an idea.
Like how does Janet know?
Yeah.
How does she know Kang?
Right.
What does Kang want from Scott? Because this is in the trailers. Obviously, he needs something from Scott, and Scott's gonna be like, yeah, whatever you want, because I need time with my daughter because that trope. Like you scratch my back,
my soul to the devil.
Yeah. I scratch your back, you scratch mine, but then after you do, I'm gonna backstab you.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so obvious.
It's super duper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've read some things.
Well, we'll find out in a few days. If you haven't yet, get your tickets for the film.
Yep.
We will be covering Scott Lang immediately after the release of the film. We will. And so we'll have up-to-date nitty-gritty details on what happens to the character in the MCU in our next episode. Yeah, that's going to be, I think we're going to have a long journey with that episode. So tune in 2 weeks from now. Gosh. Yeah, we'll save more of the Ant-Man talk then, but yeah, certainly get your questions ready. But speaking of questions, we did receive a couple of listener questions from the gram, just in general. And so, these are always welcome from anybody, anywhere. Feel free to shoot us questions at any time. One of which we received from A. Muhammad Khalif on Instagram. So he's taken it back to our America Chavez episode, and he asked, can America Chavez release her inner full power? Because I believe she can do it. So I guess he's wondering, in the MCU, like, will we see the full breadth of America Chavez?
I think I talked about this during that episode. I was like, she's the only one of her kind that has that power.
Right.
And the fact that we're moving into the multiverse saga of the MCU, and she's the only person in the MCU that can traverse the multiverse.
Right.
So it's like she needs to.
Yeah. Well, and again, like, we're just seeing her as a 16-year-old?
Yes.
In Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, and like she even kind of mildly was able to control her power.
Yeah, she was.
And
still
then on top of that, to add on to that, at least her inner quote unquote inner full power, she's also training at Karmatosh. Yeah. So she's gonna have her own sling ring.
Right.
So
or if she even needs one.
Yes.
Like, theoretically, like, what if she's focusing and honing her energy into being able to conjure like anybody else in Comertage can. But because of her powers, because they are like latent in some way, like what if she doesn't need the sling ring at all? Like what if she's able to just do it, which she can.
Yeah.
But
that's true, because she can just punch a star.
She just punches a star and boom, boom, boom. But she at the time just wasn't so like she couldn't do it at the drop of a dime, you know. But the next time we see her, she could be fully powered, and she because of
like,
Comertage.
bro, I'm pretty sure she's going to play. She has to be playing a very important role.
Yeah,
in Secret Wars.
Yeah, I agree.
Because what I think happened in Secret Wars, this is not a spoiler to anybody, because this is the comics where they travel to different universes to fight off different variants of Kang. Am I correct?
Yeah. Sure.
Okay. So you have a gang of young Avengers and current Avengers. How do you travel?
One of which is a Kang variant.
Yeah, like how do you travel across the many universes? Yeah. That's not, quantum or using like Ant-Man, pin particles and all that stuff and build a whole machine because, Stark is dead. So it's like what do you do? Like, oh, that's crazy. There's a superhero that can traverse the universes. So like, oh, America, can you punch us to here? Boom, 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 boom. And it's like she has to play at some point.
Yeah, she's their teleporter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope that's like what they're doing. Because,
imagine her. Clea.
Did I just expose the plot for Secret Wars?
They're like, Marvel's listening. They're like, write that down. Write that down.
We gotta kill these guys.
I know.
How dare they know we're gonna use America Chavez for Secret Wars?
I know, right? Yeah, anything's possible. That'll be incredible. But yeah, I do believe that next time we see her, she'll be half as powerful as she can be. Yeah. And we still won't see the full breadth of her powers until like the big picture showdown with whoever it is.
Yeah, Secret Wars is going to be also stupid.
Why do you say that?
It's just like we know what's gonna, the amount of people that we're gonna see. Who we're gonna see, I don't know, but it's gonna be at least 100 superheroes.
X-Men.
Yeah,
X-Men.
100%.
X-Men.
Easily.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of stupid if they did it.
I know. It'd like missed opportunity if they didn't do it. Oh man. All right. Next question from Nats H14 and Ariel Tima. Woo. They both asked the same question. What new stuff are you most excited for in the new year or in the next year? So now that we've arrived in 2023, what from Marvel are you excited for? God,
I mean,
I don't even know what's coming out.
I'm always excited. Like, I don't want this to be a cop out answer, but I am legit excited for every single project. Yeah, I know people probably like, oh, it's exhausting, like burnt out, and it's like, cool. If you don't like it, you don't like it, but don't dismiss something just because like you don't like the character or the actor. Like, like I'll say like, a lot of people didn't like the Miss Marvel series for some freaking reason.
I can't even.
And it's just like take it. I've said this multiple times across multiple episodes. Just take the art for what they're giving. Right. They're giving their best and what they were able to do in the time frame that they were given. Yeah.
Exactly.
Same with the She-Hulk and stuff.
And people were so harsh, not to take it back to pandemic time, but people were so utterly harsh on Falcon and Winter Soldier, right? I liked it a lot. I didn't love it, but I liked it a lot. And I also, think people forget, like, they had to cut a lot out of that series.
I mean, people were hard on WandaVision also when it came out. And then like 2 years later, they're like, "Oh my God, WandaVision was the best. Was the best MCU Phase 4 project." And it's like, bro, you guys were hating it. Yeah, I'll never forget when that first episode aired, and it was just straight. It wasn't. They even explained anything like MCU wise. It was just straight in that 50s style like show, and that was it. Yep. With that post credit scene, mid credit scene, and then that was it. People were like, "What was that?" Like,
I didn't get it. Yeah.
Like, I don't get it. Like,
I wasn't into it.
It's just like, brother.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. And I think that people tend to forget, like, there's some liberties that have to be cut or not taken with projects as a result of whatever's happening in the world. And so yeah, I don't know. I think it's hard for people to kind of, I almost feel, what I feel it is that I think that people feel inconvenienced that they're expected to watch everything. Right. Yeah. They've set up this perception for themselves that, I have to watch Ms. Marvel because then I'm not going to understand everything else.
And also
I don't want to watch that.
And also people are just like, where's the X-Men?
Right.
Where's the X-Men?
Exactly.
And it's like, bro, they just signed the contract a year ago.
Right. Like, I don't understand. And it's like, well, you do understand because you know what's been happening for 20 years. Like, relax. Yeah. And you know, I think, I saw something on Twitter. I think it was about Spider-Man. It was something. And someone was like, I just don't understand why they had to wait so long to do XYZ. And I was like, but you know, because what?
Yeah.
And it's just like, again, it's the inconvenience of having to follow something. And so that's kind of why I asked you about the stinger, because people feel like, Marvel movies are to blame for stingers. And it's like, well, no, Ferris Bueller had the first stinger, I believe, in all of film. And so it's not really the MCU's fault, but I do understand the dialogue of, you know, it's kind of built this culture of, I can't leave because they're going to reveal something big, which is why
I've done that for almost every single movie that's not an MCU movie.
Sure, exactly. I watched the menu for the first time, right? And I was like, is there
going to be something?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Of course there wasn't. But and I just feel like, people feel this weird, like, I have to stay or else I'm going to miss a crucial point, or I have to watch this.
Yeah.
And so that's why they were so pissed about Ms. Marvel and She-Hulk, because they felt like, well, now I'm not going to get the Daredevil context if I don't watch the show that I don't want to watch. Yeah. But it's not true. Yeah. It's just not true.
But I am excited. Obviously, Quantumania. It's going to be a huge movie.
Oh God, I'm so scared. I also hope it's not like Photoshopped to death, because I don't love some of the posters. Like, I feel like
they've had some cool posters.
Some really good ones. Yeah. I think it was one of the magazine covers. I was like, those are not their bodies. They're their heads, but they're not those bodies. Like, the heads were like, they were like Brodok. They're a little bigger. And I was like, oh. So I hope they don't overdo it and take me out of it. But yeah, I am. I'm just scared. I'm scared of Kang, and I'm scared he's gonna kill Scott.
I'm super excited for the Marvels.
Yeah,
I'm very excited.
Yeah,
to see all three of them on screen together.
More Rambo.
Yeah,
yeah.
Like
Photon.
Rambo, and then Kamala. And then seeing Brie back, because I love Brie Larson. I mean, say what you guys want.
It's definitely been a minute too.
Yeah, like say what you guys want about Brie, but I like her. She seems like a cool person. I really like her, cool, and you can tell she does enjoy playing Carol, which is great. Well. Like, you have to give it to these actors that they genuinely like. You have to give it up to these actors and also like the studio for choosing actors that care about the character they're playing. Mm-hmm. You know
is
what
it
I
the
mean?
Same production team?
It is not
somebody else.
Yeah, it's I forget her name, but it is
interesting.
Yeah,
because I think that
Nia
could
Costa.
Be, okay.
Nia Costa.
I think that'll be the defining change for me.
Yeah, and it's women. I know the first. Well, the first one was Simply. It was like the Birdie.
Bert and Birdie.
Yeah, it was like a duo.
Bert and Birdie.
Bert and Birdie, yes.
Oh, they did Hawkeye.
Yes.
Oh.
I think so.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm going to have to fact check myself.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah. I think, again, I don't talk about it much at all because I didn't really enjoy it. I think it's taboo for me to say something like that because I like everything. But Captain Marvel is my least favorite of all the films.
Oh, sorry. It wasn't Bert and Birdie. Sorry.
Oh, it wasn't.
But it was a guy and a girl, Anna Boden and Ryan Fleck. So.
Them two. Oh yeah, from the original. Yeah. Oh, okay. I thought you meant Bert and Birdie were part of the second one. But yeah, I think all things aside, I think Brie is a perfect casting for that character. I think she's great. I think it's the content and what she had to work with, what suffered, and having those two directors take the helm and very almost down the line or different puzzle pieces of their directing styles and storytelling styles is what ultimately made it less
and
fun
I love
for
that
me.
it's like the woman cast, woman director,
that's very true.
I love that.
So I'm here for that. So I think it'll press me so much more than Captain Marvel did as a film, and I'm excited because it'll be nice to see all those characters together and see what happens.
I forget what shows are releasing this year, but whatever gets played, I am going to watch it.
Yeah,
because
for sure.
I don't watch much stuff like binge wise.
Yeah.
So and I'm waiting for my shows to come back on like their next season. So
Right. I mean, it goes without saying. So here's the rundown, at least at the time of this publishing from Forbes. The Marvel Phase 5 2023 release schedule is as follows. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, February 17th, 2023. I don't have to say the year. We all know what year it is. What If has officially been bumped.
Yes.
So it was supposed to be quarter 1 or 2 this year.
Oh, okay.
It's definitely not happening. It's happening next year. Secret Invasion, spring.
oh my God, yes.
So the series will be debuting probably.
Echo also supposed to release this year, right?
Yeah. So I think at this rate, since Guardians has already started their
Guardians, that's right.
since Guardians is already starting their marketing, I think Secret Invasion will happen after. I think maybe in June.
Okay.
I'm happy to eat my words, but that's where I think it's going to land. Loki season 2, summer. So
Oh my God, Guardians. Oh gosh.
then Echo as well is in summer. And then, which is interesting because they've put Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse in June. So
that's right.
So that said, they're kind of assuming that that the other titles are going to come before that or in between. Guardians, not sure. The Marvels, July 28th. Like we said, Ironheart. Is that still
Series?
happening? Fall. It says fall.
The series
Yeah.
with Riri?
Yeah. I don't know about that. I
haven't
feel like
seen
that's
any-
pushed.
I haven't seen any updates on
Haven't
it.
seen anything about that. Oh, I forgot this was happening. Craven the Hunter, October, from Sony Studios.
Oh, sorry.
starring Aaron Taylor Johnson.
That's right. I
Rip
forgot I forgot-
Quicksilver.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
forgot they filmed that.
I don't know how that's gonna go. X-Men 97, the cartoon,
that's right. They're
is
bringing that
dropping.
back.
Yeah, in winter, and then Agatha: Coven of Chaos, winter 2023 or 2024, depending. And then it goes into 2024, which kicks off with presumably Daredevil in spring. So, of the 23, I mean, it kind of goes without saying. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume
Yeah, that
3.
one's gonna be. Oh, that's another
100%.
trilogy that's coming to an end.
I am so sad. I'm so sad already.
It's just
so sad.
sadness this year.
Yeah, but I did cop one of those beautiful movie posters from Disney Insiders, which they have no more. It's gone.
Oh wow.
So and it was 12 o'clock. It was noon in New York. I was in a car and I sent an alarm. I put my thing in, boom, 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 free
Yeah.
poster coming your way. I was like sick. And I just got it yesterday.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful. 27 by 40 inches. Somebody asked me on
Holy
Twitter.
crap.
Somebody asked me, they were like, how big is that poster? Because it looks small.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's 27 by 40. And it's double-sided.
Whoa.
Sick.
Crazy.
Thank you, Disney.
Wow.
Love free.
Yeah.
But yeah, Guardians, 100% most
Oh, I'm
excited
gonna
for.
cry.
Oh God, I know that's all we keep saying is like I'm gonna be so sad, but it's gonna be great. I think it's gonna be fantastic. I think James Gunn is really gonna leave a permanent mark.
Yeah, man. It's his final hurrah of Marvel, so which is he's gonna go out with a
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and that much is to be appreciated because
Yeah,
he
100%.
gave us so much.
Yeah.
and so did this cast. So
He
I
took
hope
characters that no one cared about.
nobody,
Yeah.
and now look.
One of the most beloved ensemble for sure.
Easily. And then aside that, of course, Spider-Verse, all of these things, 100%. I'm super duper excited
It's
for.
a solid year
Yeah.
of comic.
It's a pretty solid year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Craven.
Can't have everything.
Yeah. Okay. So that's it. That's it for the questions. We had them spread up between the
Yeah.
last episode and this one. So yeah. And again, next up, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. So we're
Yep.
just gonna talk about Scott Lang.
Yeah.
Hopefully
I hope it's a nice episode and doesn't end with
with me crying.
doesn't end with a R.I.P. to Scott Lang. So
Please,
we'll
no.
see. We'll see what happens when Quantumania comes out.
Oh man, we'll see. And so, thanks for listening, guys. A weird Groot salute to Laura, Andrea, Claire, Ed, Jenny, Katie, Andrew, the Arachnid, Nerd. Oh my gosh, I messed up.
I'm keeping it in. Sorry.
That's cool. Sorry, Arachnid. Melanie, Robin, Joe, Liz, Eve, Ariel, Nats, Ashley, and Tyler. Don't forget, you can also be part of this We Are Groot Salute. It is our highest tier on Patreon. We do have lower tiers if you'd like that as well. Please check it out in our show notes.
Woo!
Follow us on social on STRKCNTRST. And if you like what you hear, review, rate, and subscribe.
Woo!
That's the end of the show.
Once again, thank you guys for listening.
Thank you.
We will catch you in the next one.
Catch you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.
You thought you could win. I don't have to win. We both just have to lose.